Hello, I'm Paul.
I'm Adam.
Hiya, Georgie. I'm Pennywise.
All right, let's.
I've been waiting to do that. That's staying in.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Worst, mate.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
FilmBusters.
You just spoilt the film for everyone. Now everybody knows he changed his name to Pennywise.
It's true. And I played him because Skarsgård fucked off.
Horrendous. I don't like it.
I'm sorry.
Right, yes, welcome to our It Chapter 2 podcast. This episode, we will be talking about It Chapter 2. But first, I think we should get to the staple of the episode, which is the quiz.
Ooh!
Is everyone ready for this?
Well, what's the scores first, please?
Well, Ben, you are on 9. Adam, you're on 7. And I'm on 10.
Oh, yeah, you overtook. I forgot this.
Very upset.
I can't even really do anything this week. I've only got
Yes, you can.
damage limitation to catch up with you.
You can jump on my level, my friend.
And that's the best level, isn't it,
You can
Ben?
try, mate.
It is. Come
You
on.
can only try.
I'm rooting for you, Adam. We're all rooting for you.
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know what the quiz is, I basically ask Adam and Ben 2 questions. If they get it right, they get a point. If I get it right, I get the point. The
So
first
basically,
question...
Paul scores points for doing fuck all.
Exactly.
Just relying on our ineptitude to advance in life.
Did I do fuck all? I actually won because I won last year, so I'm the quiz host again.
Oh, I won a year!
For your ineptitude, by not answering. I can't wait till I win.
It seems like I'm going to win this year as well because I'm winning again.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, let's
I've
pick
been
really
winning all
hard
year.
questions. Let's pick really hard questions so I win and I'll be smart about it.
Anyway, the first
I
question...
want Adam to be the host because he'd be the most disgruntled, aggressive, angry host ever. And he would prepare no questions.
I welcome it.
It'd be every year. Who won the Oscar?
It would all be shining questions.
Yes.
snacks.
Speaking of shining questions, I have a shining question.
Oh, let's have it.
There's spoilers there.
But before the shining question...
The Shining.
My first is a tagline question. Are you ready for the tagline question?
Yep.
The tagline of this film is... Miracles do happen.
The Green Mile.
Well done, Ben. There you go.
Is it?
Got
I
in
knew
there,
that to be a
yes.
Stephen King connection.
Oh shit, yeah, Stephen. I was thinking of actors in the film.
Well done, Ben. You're on 10.
Cunt.
Thank
You're
you.
leveling me.
10, 7, 10.
Nah, it's all useless for me.
You
Scary.
see how you were giving it the big I am just a minute or so ago there, Paul.
I might let Ben get this question right, so then Paul shuts up.
Cheers,
Paul's
buddy.
Cocky.
No, you got to at least try. You can't stay into the
Teamwork.
Adam's
background.
getting his excuses in early.
Don't fall
It's
into
teamwork.
obscurity.
Paul's the government. We've got to bring down the government together.
They don't work for us.
One of you will get this question. Okay, this is a shining question.
If
Are
you've
you
got
ready?
that reference, email in.
What did you say?
Nothing. Carry on.
It's probably a reference to Glengarry Glen Ross.
Incorrect. It was a reference to something, but not that. If you got that
Okay.
reference, email in. I'll send you a T-shirt.
Scarface.
Just
I
one
didn't
of
even
my
hear what
own.
he said. A sweaty
It'll have
one.
holes in it.
Yes. I'll send you my Child's Play T-shirt if any of you get that reference.
Very nice. Was it Child's Play?
Yes. Come on.
Okay, so the next question. Here we go. In The Shining, what
He's
is
definitely getting this one.
Oh, don't interrupt
Stop
the
talking,
host.
you
I know.
prick.
I almost
Don't
messed that
interrupt the
up.
host
Go
like
on.
that. Okay, in The Shining, what is Danny Torrance's imaginary friend called?
Oh. Tony.
Yes!
Yes.
Fuck. I was gonna say Bobby. I just had Bobby in my head. I knew it wasn't that. I just couldn't think of anything else.
It was some
Bobby.
sort of silly like that, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bobby, Tony,
Bobby.
Jimmy. I was going for all the things. Bobby. Tony. Oh, Tony, damn it, Tony.
Tony!
He's talking in a silly voice, man. What sort of voice? And why is he talking in that voice to Tony? No, don't tell it, Tony.
What to do, Tony?
We have toppled the government anyway, Ben. I'll let you have that one.
Oh, thanks.
Look at that. Look at that. 11 Ben, 7
Pennywise is
Adam,
on top.
10 Paul.
I really can't do fuck all now.
You can. Last year, you were losing so badly and you overtook us, but then lost.
Yeah.
Just like a Chelsea fan to give up when you're just losing by a few points.
Never give those references
We still win
ever
something,
again.
though.
Yes.
None of those
Never.
football references.
Paul don't like no football references on this podcast.
Never. Never.
Until Woody grows
Listen,
up
when
and
you're
loves
sitting
football
top,
and he has to deal with
you
football
can-
every weekend.
You can make the rules. Yes,
It would never
indeed.
go.
And do you know who he's going to support? Do you know who Woody's going to support?
Luton, probably.
That Burnley. And that will be your biggest cross to bear, my friends. Because then you'll have to go and watch games that are consistently shit. You won't even be watching top tier football. You'll be watching average fucking football.
And you'll be
games.
sitting on some shit old deck chair in the middle of a stand because that's all they've got. Looking at Sean
I really
Dyche's
don't care
head.
about this conversation.
Adam, it is our job to make sure that Woody grows up a Burnley football fan from now on. Future
yeah,
birthdays,
you're not
anything like
We'll
that.
get him
we
an
buy
Ashley,
Burnley
we'll get him an
FC
Ashley
gifts.
Barnes t-shirt.
You're not doing a very
Yes.
good job so far. You got him a Batman toy, so you know
Actually,
you're going in the
we're
right
getting
direction.
B. We're getting him in the B section. He likes something that begins with a B, so
Yes.
Burnley.
That's
He's
how
got
presents
Batman.
work.
He will like
It's a
Barcelona.
long thing.
If
Yeah,
he likes
good like.
Barcelona, then your child, I'm afraid, will have troubles with me.
I don't care about this conversation.
I
Really.
know, forget this conversation. Leave it in the podcast, but forget the conversation. We're moving on. So now, in the interest of showing much love and much appreciation to wonderful fellow podcasters, let's take a minute and listen to one of our biggest supporters and also a couple of podcasting guys that we're huge fans of. Take it away, Julio.
Let's see, Alex. What do you think of Jaws, which is at 97% Rotten Tomatoes?
I find it to be anti-shark propaganda. What do you feel about the Entourage movie, which is at a meager 33%?
I think they finally got Hollywood right. How about It Follows, 97%?
Worse than your parents giving you the sex is evil talk. How do you feel about Juno, which is at 94%?
That would be a movie that celebrates a teenage homewrecker. How about Bewitched at 25%?
Best television adaptation ever put to film. How do you feel about American Hustle at a towering 93%?
Overwrought awards bait. Righteous Kill, 19%.
The movie that Michael Mann wishes he had made when he created Heat.
Sounds about right. I'm Julio.
I'm Alex, and we are the Contrarians,
As you can tell, our thing is that we rage against the Rotten Tomatoes machine.
regardless of what we really feel.
Find us on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn.
Facebook, Twitter, we're everywhere.
Right, so now we're on to the feature of the week. Let's talk about It Chapter 2.
The main event. Here is our feature topic, plus Adam might do a rubbish plot summary.
Are you fucking serious?
Right, so we will be talking about It Chapter 2. This is a spoiler episode, so if you have not seen the film, you will be spoiled if you listen. But Adam, would you like to explain the plot?
Huh?
Why were
Nah,
you so taken by surprise?
I thought I'd just wind you up pretending I wasn't paying attention because I don't really
Oh.
normally pay attention to Paul. But yeah, so the plot is this is the second half of Stephen King's book.
It's
It.
second half of Kissy Kiss. Is that what you said?
I'm really flustered myself.
Did you say it's the second half of Kissy Kiss?
No, I couldn't say the word Stephen properly. Anyway, yeah, so it's the second half of the book and adapted into a film, and it takes place 27 years later. Oh, fuck me. Do we start again, or should I just carry this?
No,
bit
you're doing
back?
Just
wonderful.
carry
I
on,
love it.
go for it.
Yeah, and it takes place 27 years later. Everyone's grown up, and they've all come back to Derry. Depends where you're from in Ireland, what you want to call that. I don't even know where I'm going with this anymore. Yeah, to face the killer clown Pennywise or Bennywise. Yeah,
Yes.
Whichever version you watched.
and they're going to kill
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
clown. Let's kill the clown.
Who did that? Who said that? Which voice was that?
That was Adam.
Was it? That was really weird. Didn't sound anything like you. That was unusual, man.
That's my Pennywise.
He's possessed.
That was a strange voice.
Possession.
Yeah.
impression.
Deeply unnerving. Well, very fitting for the It episode. So, who's going first with the scores, please?
You should go. You two should go first because you're avid horror fans.
Well, then we should go last.
No, you two go first.
How about
Well,
Adam?
then-
Adam goes first.
Yes, please.
All right, I gave this film a 7. I very much enjoyed the beginning. I thought it was quite a nice setup. I was getting very involved, but then the story just kind of dwindled for like an hour in the middle when they were trying to get the little trinkets a bit and there was some good horror jumps in there. And then the ending was quite good, but it was more for me a film of pieces. There was a couple of good moments here and there, but overall it did seem a bit dragged out, and they needed more Pennywise and Bill Hader because they were definitely the best things about the film.
Very good.
Very well said.
Very well said. We're all going to discuss each other's opinions after we've given our little overview, aren't we?
Yes, of course. This is our first impressions.
You next, then, Paul, because you gave the first film a 9.
Okay. So, yes, I absolutely love the first one. 9 out of 10. This film, I was slightly disappointed, so I've given it 6 out of 10. I don't know whether it didn't work well because of the fact it wasn't revolving around the kids. I don't know whether it was the pacing issues, because the pacing was off. It was very, okay, now we're going to watch this person, now we're going to watch this person, now we're going to watch this person. It wasn't very well put together, which threw me out of the film a little bit. Like very regimented. The CGI, like the CGI monsters, I really didn't like. The first one in the cafe, didn't like it at all, and the woodchuck guy, it was a bit annoying. But let me say, the casting was brilliant. Everyone was casted really well. I loved every single bit that had Pennywise in it. I think Bill Skarsgård is absolutely amazing. He's amazing as Pennywise, and I think he's going to go down in history as an amazing horror icon. And the next day after watching this film, I was thinking, you know what, I have quite fond memories of it, even though I gave it a 6. So I do want to watch it again. Over to you, Ben.
Interesting. We'll discuss all of this. So I gave it a 9 out of 10. So I was
fucking
really...
hell! I just had to step back a second. That just came out of nowhere.
Step back.
I know you don't have to. I know we're not doing the interruption thing, but what did you give the first one again?
8.
Okay, I gave the first one an 8.
So I was fully prepared to dislike this one because I thought all of the tricks would have been shown in the first film. And while I will straight off the bat say that it is not as scary as the first film, I think it's a better film for it. I think because Pennywise, we were introduced to him in the first film. We know what he's about. We know the sort of jump scares that he can do. We know what he's about. It's about that presence, that fucking horrible presence that he has over these people now as soon as they return to Derry. And the fact that we saw him so fleetingly, and when we did see him, it felt to me every time we did see him, it was very chilling. There was no overexposure to him. Like you said, Paul, the entire adult cast were incredible, and I mean, maybe there was 1 or 2 weak links which we get into, but overall, I think the performances were really, really strong, and it was enough. It was significant enough for me to care about the drama, like the film that we saw at Fright Fest, Mary, which you didn't like very much, but I did. I thought the film could almost have been about those characters without the horror because it was done so well. I enjoyed the interrelation between them, and they were very, very believable. And I cried so much at the end of this film. And I thought, you know what? If you've got a horror film where you can really make me care about the characters like that, then you've done fucking well. And I don't know, I just felt better after watching this one than I did after the first one, and for that reason it's a 9. And let me also just say, it's my second favourite film that we've reviewed for the podcast this year, after Midsummer only.
How close are you to giving this film a 10?
No, I'm not nowhere near giving it a 10.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just a 9.
I do get your point about the characters, but there was some of them that started to annoy me after a while.
None of them annoyed me.
If they just started to grain on me a bit, is they were almost acting like children still.
Yeah, but the thing about that, I kind of went with that a bit because when you go back and you visit like old friends, you kind of regress back to that kind of stage that you were. So I kind of went with that. I was fine with that.
And they'd all returned to Derry. They'd all moved on with their lives and forgotten about what had happened. And it's once they all reunited, really, that they got back into those old "I fucked your mother" type jokes and all of that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did thoroughly enjoy Bill Hader though.
Yeah, he was great.
Bill Hader, 100%. This is his fucking...
Yeah.
Between the two Bills, between him and Skarsgård, both of them were
they should be top of the bill.
Very
good.
Who got top billing?
The thing about this film, right, is think of it now. The strange thing, I've given it a 6, but I'm really excited to watch it again.
I'm so surprised you gave this a 6 point.
I know, but the thing is, I was watching it and I was feeling really disappointed. But then the next day I was like, oh, but I actually really like that bit. I really like that bit. And
it's a film
Bill
with many
Skarsgård was
good
great.
parts. That's the problem. There is so many good parts of this film that when you look back on it now, you're thinking, oh, I like that bit, I like that bit. But then when you're watching it, they almost feel too distant apart. It's one of those films where you're watching it and you're like, oh, let's get through to this bit because I like this scene coming up now. I also thought it wasn't necessarily scarier, but it was more jumpy than the first film.
I don't remember.
When the woman when she
point.
came out of the kitchen, when fucking that woman came running out of that kitchen, I did shit myself.
Oh, yeah,
At first,
the naked
that was creepy, but I agree with what Paul said. Actually, the CGI of the monster type transformations was not very good.
No,
Or
See,
it wasn't that it wasn't very good. It was that it wasn't effective.
Yeah, I didn't like the first film. I went with the CGI, because the fact of the matter was that the CGI using that was basically jumping on the fears of those children, and those fears made sense. Like, oh wow, this woman comes out of the painting, she's got a twisted face, and he's scared of that picture, so it makes sense. But all this was all like, who said he was scared of this big woodchuck? Who said she was scared of a naked woman in a house? It's like, it didn't really, didn't understand why they were showing these CGI characters.
I know.
Like,
I think
why
that
they would
I agree. The CGI monsters was a big reason for me why it didn't get a 10.
Yeah.
Also, when they did the whole trinkets, go find your little artifact kind of thing, I don't think it explained very well why it was needed.
It wasn't at that point, and that is
Till
the other
the end
thing.
of the film. To the end of the film, it was almost like you're watching all of this happen. You're like, okay, they're getting all these bits, but why are we actually doing this again? Like, he said, go get your artifacts in that summer. Great, I get that. It's a nice little, but not until the very end when they start burning them. You're like, okay, that's when we needed to get them. It's almost like you're watching something, not for it to. You're like, why are we still watching this?
The thing is, I didn't really like the whole ritual side of the story either. I thought it was quite boring. I was like, oh, a ritual.
Or them holding hands and stuff. I was like, okay, this is getting.
I was like, just beat him with a stick again.
Jeez.
That's the fun. I don't care about ritual.
But you know,
I did laugh at him a bit though when he was just like a big balloon just left on the floor.
That was great. I love that. It was like a deflated balloon, wasn't he?
The thing that is interesting about that, though, and the ritual side of things, is ultimately that's the ending of it. And infamously, the original It miniseries ended terribly. Yeah. Nobody liked the ending.
Stephen King. How did that one end?
There's big spider.
Yeah.
And they use a slingshot to fire a little thingy into it, and it destroys him. Yeah, it became a big spider, but it wasn't very good.
Do you reckon the whole book thing with him talking about bad endings to a book was almost a nod at that?
Yes, if you would let me finish what I was just about to say, then you would hear what I was going to say.
Sorry.
Stephen King is also accused of not being able to end a story in terms of his endings are always shit. And that's why it was even funnier that he played that guy who ran the antique store and was saying to him, oh yeah, I read your book, I didn't like the ending. Because that's what everyone says to him.
That's what when I was watching it, I was thinking, I wonder if this is actually a part of the actual book that, maybe he's been said this before and they incorporate it into the book. And I was going to ask that exact thing, whether it was part of the book or just put into this film for that reason.
No, it's in the book as well. It's a very faithful adaptation of the book as well. Both films, very much how it plays out in the book, which may be why that bit where they all go off to get their artifacts didn't play as well for you on screen, because in a book it would kind of make sense, like, oh well, now we're reading Eddie's chapter, now we're reading Richie's chapter.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was too regimented. It was like, this is this part, this is this part, this is this part.
I liked it. I thought that was one of the more exciting parts of the film, because it's like, oh shit, now we know they're going to have to face a fear here, so let's watch each of them individually face a fear.
But the fear wasn't good enough, that's the whole point. Like, the CGI fear that they put into it, I don't think was good.
Oh, but never mind the CGI. Hang on, let's go through them now, right? What was the first one? Bev's? The old lady in the house? Okay, so apart from the fact that it kind of got spoilt in the trailer, that was creepy up until the CGI.
I didn't see the trailers, so
the old woman was creepier than the CGI woman.
Yeah. So, and then Richie...
Well, let's go back to the fortune cookies first. That was silly.
No, but it was silly when the monsters came out, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the reveal that Stanley, when it says guess Stanley couldn't make the cut,
Yeah.
or Stanley couldn't cut it,
That was good.
fucking brilliant.
That was really good, yeah. But then the CGI monsters coming out was like,
I agree.
this is silly.
I'm agreeing with
What
you
is
on
this?
the CGI.
Yeah, yeah.
Let go of the CGI.
The thing is,
Yeah,
the
but it's
fortune
part of
cookies
the
look
film.
CGI as well, and that was the bit that annoyed me. It's like I get the monsters can't CGI because obviously you can't make them, but these fortune cookies are real. Can we use real fortune cookies and make them vibrate a bit? But the CGI didn't really bother me because I didn't really think of it as bad CGI. Like when you watch Venom, for example, the CGI in that film annoyed me. That was off-puttingly crap and overly done. Whereas this one, it felt like it was only used where necessary, and there was obviously a lot of times where it had to be done because of what the film is playing out as. But
Yeah, let
I
me
think it took away from the film.
let me get this straight. I'm not saying the CGI was bad. I'm saying the creature created out of CGI was bad. I didn't like the fact that these weird monsters were coming out.
Wasn't scary enough.
No, and I thought it was silly.
Yeah, they were silly, but also I think it's playing on, because that's how they're written in Stephen King's books as well. It's hard to translate it onto screen and make it look good, because he writes horrific monsters sometimes as you would tell them to a child.
Yeah. See that the bit where Pennywise is underneath the football stand.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is scarier than anything else. Like any other fear that they've confronted with.
And that's the Pennywise, like you kind of... It was quite good that they showed that, because that's the Pennywise you remember from the first film, and that's the kind of Pennywise you want to see.
Yeah, but it's effective because you only fleetingly see him in those few moments like that. And what about the time when he comes floating up, never mind the woodchuck CGI, when he floats down on the balloons taunting Richie? That's brilliant. In broad fucking daylight, man.
Yeah.
They made that fucking creepy in broad daylight.
Everything with Pennywise was great. I had no qualms with anything.
Yes, all right. Don't say CGI again. We've moved off that.
But the
Understand your stance on
CGI.
CGI. Listen, you fucking gave Endgame and the other Avengers film what? And that's all CGI.
No, but I'm not saying the CGI is bad. I'm saying the creatures. I'm just calling them CGI because they're CGI creatures.
Enough. I didn't care about that because I thought, okay, yeah, the CGI not very good, but it would have amounted to what, 3 or 4 minutes in the entirety of that entire film, and it didn't rely on just those visuals to be the film. It was the dynamic between them, I thought.
Yeah.
The real dynamic between them. The whole thing of Richie and Eddie. Now, do you see the homosexual undertone between the two of them?
Yeah.
The brilliance of that, not putting that front and centre, but playing that out over the course of an hour and a half.
Yeah.
That's why this was fucking good. Levels, depth.
Yeah, I agree. All the little bits that were like, the first scene was so impactful. I love that first scene where the gay guys get beaten up and thrown. I was like, this is absolutely like traumatizing.
That's the only thing it felt for me. It's like the opening sequence was really good up until I can't remember the exact point, and then it just felt like it was dragging on a bit, and that's where it kind of lost me. And then that's when you start to feel the length of the film as well.
Yeah, I really felt the length.
I never felt the length. Do you know what? The way you're talking is how I felt about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Adam. Little bits that I enjoyed, but overall I was like, this is going on for so long and you're boring me.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of felt. And it's like, it was almost the fact you like Pennywise so much, and I like Bill Hader so much in it, and James McAvoy was quite good with his little lisp and all that kind of thing. But you want them on the scene all the time. When it's not with them,
Bill Hader had a lot of screen time though.
He did have a lot of screen time, but I'm saying it's like when he's not there, that's when it starts. That's when you're like, I want him back. And also, who can leave a bike outside a fair in the middle of the road and it doesn't get stolen?
Well, look, if you're focusing on things like that, then the film's obviously not working for you, buddy.
I was joking. I just picked it up. I was like, that bike was no way near being.
But come on now, you giving this a harsh score. This is a film that had the balls to kill off 2 kids twice on screen.
Yes. Great moments.
Yeah, that was great.
Do you know, the fact of the matter is, because the film's so long, there's too many opportunities for it to do something bad. And it did it multiple times now, and also made me think, this scene's unnecessary, I don't like this bit's going on too long. The ending was brilliant, where they killed Pennywise, and then I felt like it was another 20 minutes before it actually ended. because it was just doing all this stuff that I didn't
No, it
really
was
care
about 5
Oh,
minutes
mate, but
before
that
it
was-
I
ended.
know, but it felt
Yeah,
so
that
long.
was not long. No, mate, that was the emotional heft. You got to be kidding me. That honestly,
What did you cry
I
at?
teared
What
up
did you
about
cry
2 or
at?
3 times. So I cried at Bill Hader breaking
dead.
down when they all. I didn't cry when Eddie died. It was when they'd all jumped off in the water and they're all cleansing themselves, and then Bill Hader just breaks down. That got to me. Then when Stanley's letter gets read, when you hear Stanley's letter being read out, and you see what they've overcome, that
Yeah.
was emotional.
That just lost on me.
Both of them, huh?
That
Lost
did-
on you?
That was lost on me as well, because I feel like killing yourself didn't
bring
really
everyone
give
together.
much of a reason.
Yeah.
Why?
It wasn't to bring everyone together. It
He
was. He said he was never going to go. He didn't have the courage to go. And if he didn't go, the gang would have been weaker in the eyes of Pennywise because they were divided. So by completely... Yes, it's a tough subject because it's suicide. But by killing himself,
feel like
he's eliminated
there's-
and out. So the survivors are together. Whereas otherwise, they have to do it all together. That's
Why
the
didn't you
point.
just not go?
What?
Why didn't you just not go?
Did you just listen to what I said? Because if
Yeah,
he
but-
didn't go, then they're not together. They're broken up.
Yeah, but what's to say that he has to go?
What do you mean? What's to say?
Why
that
does he
has to
know?
go?
He didn't even remember it.
when
Right,
he
he had no
when he got the
memories of
phone
it, so
call,
why
as
did
they
he
all
go?
did, they remembered.
No, they said they got to the restaurant and they just had a feeling. That's all they said. I have a feeling, and then they started to remember. And then when they
Yeah,
were
but
sitting in
mate,
the restaurant,
no,
they went,
Stanley
Pennywise.
clocked
They
it though.
said.
Stanley always clocks it in the book, in the old miniseries, in this one. Stanley clocks it. That's the reason he kills himself in the bath and writes it on the wall because
But
he
it might-
remembers.
But it might. But they didn't explain that. They might. It might be shown in the books that he always remembers.
even
but
write it on the
when
wall?
it's very very brief in this film, but you see that he's written it in blood on
yeah,
the wall.
I didn't even see that.
Well, he has. It's not as obvious as it was in the miniseries, but it's meant to be that it comes flooding back to him.
See, that was one of the reasons where I was like, "This is going. Why are you showing us this letter now?" That because it didn't play well with me. I didn't understand
Oh mate,
why
it played
why
very
Stanley
well for
killed
me.
himself and the relevance of it.
Well, but it struck me as very relevant because it's true. Like it was his brave act. I thought, and this will be controversial because there'll be people out there saying suicide isn't a brave act, but in the context of what he did, I think it was, because really, if he had just said, "I'm not going," he understood more than any of them at that stage. I felt like what the ramifications were of returning to Derry, and if he didn't, and the rest of them did, then it would have had the power because they weren't all united. By completely killing himself because he couldn't face it, the gang had no choice but to be united in the face of Pennywise. That's why he did it. And that's why he wrote the letter. He understood what they were going back to do.
Well, that's very interesting.
I don't feel that was betrayed. I didn't get that at first.
Yeah,
either.
to the fact that you have to explain it, that it obviously didn't explain it well enough in the film.
Well, I just took it from the film that way.
But you've read the book, so you kind of know.
Yeah, but no, but I when I was in that film, I was not thinking about the book. I
you
totally
do have-
forgot.
you must
I
have that
totally
knowledge,
forgot that he sends a letter.
Okay.
In any case, I won't fall out with you over this. But anyway, that's it. Tell me some other things that you disliked, because apart from the CGI, I'd like to know.
Well, the whole pacing of it, I found it very boring. Them finding their totems and
Wow.
the fear wasn't their fears. I think I liked when her head was on fire. That was a good one. I didn't like so the woodchuck one. I didn't like. The old lady was a bit silly. I did like her when she was actually human old lady. I'm trying to remember the other ones now.
The school. There was the one with the arcade.
See, that whole segment I didn't mind because Pennywise was actually part. Was it Pennywise? Yeah, because he was in the locker with him. I like that whole bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was also in Richie's storyline as well.
What was that though?
Richie's the one with the woodchuck, and then he comes down with the balloons.
I did like that. I did like that one because he was like, "It's not real. It's not real. It's not real," and that kind of reinforced the point that it is all your fear.
Yeah.
Because something it wasn't because like you know that from the first film and you know kind of what but they didn't really explain why all these things happens too well. So that one was a good reminder, and they did it in quite a nice subtle way that it is like you'd pretend it's not real.
Yeah.
I liked the guy who's got like the disease with the mum when she's strapped down. That was fine.
I just thought this was just a good film in parts, not as an actual.
Yeah, I've seen there's some really great parts in this, and that's the stuff I remembered the following day, and I was like, oh, I really want to see that again. But watching the film, I felt the length, some little bits annoyed me, and the fact that I loved the first one so much, the disappointment was weighing heavy on this film.
Halfway through the film, I was like, this film's a 9. Halfway through it, I was like, okay, now this is like a 5, and it was very...
I'm very surprised. I couldn't disagree with you boys more on this one than on some of my other films.
Mm. But the funny thing is, I can't wait to watch it again.
How does this film compare to like old, like you two are like, oh, this is a modern commercial horror film?
For modern commercial horror films, it's almost as good as it gets. For modern commercial horror films, like Midsummer is still the best horror film of this year for me.
But what would you compare it to old, like in general horror?
No, I mean it doesn't really hold a candle to some of the older horror stuff that I consider classics. But for now, for what we're doing now, it was good.
It's no
Us. It's just a really good film at a bad time, or
Adam, do you prefer Us to this?
I'm sure you rated it higher, didn't you?
Yeah, Adam, I think you did. Or maybe you gave it a 7. I can't remember.
I'm both 7, but I don't really know actually.
I think I did see How come it's like really high in our ratings then?
Because you loved it up.
Yeah, I gave it a 9.
The only thing with this, I think I've got fonder memories of watching it than I did of Us, but I do feel like I do need to see Us again.
Well, did you like? Let me chuck in something that I really loved. When the head came out of the fridge and sprouted legs, and Bill Hader said, "You gotta be fucking kidding me." Do you know what that was a reference to?
The Thing?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what... Because it's as soon as it starts...
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, there was quite a few references in there, wasn't there? Because there was a Shining reference, wasn't there? The Here's Johnny bit.
Oh yeah, there was a Here's Johnny, yeah. I forgot about that.
And they also did Die Hard, didn't he? But then he got cut off.
Yes, he died when he was doing it, right?
Yeah, he got trapped in the light.
And what's it called?
Yes, he did get trapped in the light, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was scary, man. That was horrible. When he whited it, his eyes whited over.
That was pretty epic.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this film. We had so much fun watching this. It was the time flew by. I thought all the performances were great. Do you know what? Somebody on Twitter, I can't remember who it was, wrote this, and I thought, what, really? And I was like, that's true. It's like, imagine Trainspotting 2, but horror. That's what this was like.
What? Because they meet up again?
Because they've all got together again.
I guess so.
It's a good.
I need to watch Trainspotting 2 again. I only saw it in the cinema.
It was very incredible.
Fantastic.
I fun memories
Loved
of that
it.
film.
But also, now that you're I hesitate going back to talk about CGI, but let's talk about it for 1 minute. What did you think about the kids' CGI?
So, all of it was amazing, apart from what's the fat kid called?
Yeah, the fat kid was the worst.
Yeah, you could tell the smoothing was too, like the smoothing on his face,
and they made his jaw too big at times.
Yeah, it was. I think like he must have lost some weight, the kid, in real life, because it felt
definitely
like enlarged his face somehow.
And Finn Wolfhard for sure.
Yeah,
they rounded his chin out in some weird way.
Yeah, I didn't notice anyone else a lot, but he was like definitely the one that I could see there was something done to.
Yeah, I thought it was very good. Considering all things considered, they did a very fucking good job. They're coming on leaps and bounds with what they can do with de-aging. I particularly look forward to seeing De Niro in Irishman.
I know, if we can see problems with little kids who have probably only aged like 2 years, imagine the problems going to be in the Irishman.
I know, it's true.
What about Samuel L. Jackson in Captain Marvel?
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty. But he looks exactly the same.
Yeah, he just dyed his hair. Really. I remember seeing Tron Legacy and thinking, fuck, they've done a really good job on Jeff Bridges. But like that was 10 years ago. If you watch it now, it looks so dated.
Yeah, I saw it the other day.
Yeah.
Even what's his name in Star Wars, in Rogue One, it's quite a good job.
I can't think of the best one.
Yeah, Leia in Rogue One was quite good.
No, what's his name? What's his name? The commander. Is it Peter something?
Peter Cushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was obvious
that
it
was
was
very
CGI,
good.
but it was still good.
You can see there's something off, but it was very good.
Yeah, it was. That was strong.
Mm.
Anyway, I was very happy with this film. I enjoyed it very much. Maybe it's because I wasn't expecting too much.
I wasn't expecting a lot, and I was almost pleasantly surprised. But then I do feel that I still wasn't satisfied.
I was expecting a lot.
Yeah, see, that's the trouble. You was expecting too much, son. I don't know what you were expecting.
But the funny thing is, right, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I have no urge to see it again, and I gave it an 8. This film, I'm like, I do want to see it again.
Yeah, strange.
Odd.
That is odd.
Did you two both go alone to see this film?
I went
with Jenny.
What do they think?
Loved it.
Zoe didn't like it.
We're just led by our partners, clearly.
See, I went with Dan and Francis enjoyed it at the same level as I was. But
I
Dan
know, I saw Francis gave it a 7.
And Dan gave it a 5. It was like, he literally came out and he went, can we all agree how bad that film, boring and long it was?
Oi, Dan gave Once Upon a Time in Hollywood a 10.
He saw it twice in one day.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he saw twice in one day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you subject yourself to that? Ask him, I want to know. Send me an email and we'll read it out on the next pod. Why would you subject yourself to that?
Because he loves Tarantino.
We had a long conversation about it last Monday.
I'm just still a bit disappointed with everything that's come out in the cinema this year. I still feel like I haven't seen anything great in a couple of years in the cinema.
I don't know.
I think the last film I thought, wow, I was really happy with that was probably Rogue One.
Adam, I'm sure that this year you've been voting higher than last year. I know I have for damn sure.
You have.
This year has been such a better year for films that we've gone to see.
Once Upon a Time in
cinema.
Hollywood is the highest I've given. That's an 8. No, 9, sorry.
Well, let's take a look.
high.
Let's take a look. I kind of feel like we're not finished talking about it yet, but just since we're just talking about cinema visits, all right, fine. But since we're talking about our scores, let's just rank things so we get a bit of context. So, Adam, you say a 7.
Yeah.
So that means,
but it'd be a high 7 for me. It's
All
almost
right.
7, 8. I reckon.
Okay, so in that case, the films we have in 7s for you is Can You Ever Forgive Me top, Toy Story 4 underneath, and Captain Marvel underneath.
What did I give us then?
You gave us an 8.
Oh,
I knew it.
It's your third favourite of the year, mate. So.
I knew it.
Oh God. Yeah, I'll give it.
Oh God, yeah, exactly. That's my reaction too.
But it would be top of those there.
Good. I'll let Paul do the formatting. And Paul, you said a 6, which is criminal. So you've got Glass, then The House That Jack Built, and then Shazam.
Top of them all.
Fucking hell. So Green Book. You both think Green Book was better than this. You absolute racists.
I've gone on the record and said I would give Green Book a 7 now if I
sorry.
but we can't change the podcast scores.
I'm sorry,
change
we
the
know
podcast.
you're a racist now, and you're both outed as racists because you preferred Green Book to It, and everyone knows that if you preferred Green Book to It, you are a racist and a massive one.
What there's white supremacists coming to say today.
It's absolutely true. You found us out.
And as for me, how bizarre, it's my second favourite film that we've done this year, and for Paul, it's his 4th worst.
Wow.
So
Wow,
Paul, just for context, Paul not only likes Green Book more than It Chapter 2, he also likes Captain Marvel more.
Yeah.
Are you stand by that?
Yeah, because it's just Captain Marvel's just a well-rounded film. It's nothing
Oh.
It's nothing wrong with it.
It's nothing special.
It's nothing special. And
Pretty forgetful.
it is, but it's still a film where this one I had problems with it. And I was disappointed.
What's my highest films this year? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and then what?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, John Wick Chapter 3, and then Us for you. For
So
Paul,
did I give John Wick both 9? But Once Upon a Time
no,
9.
you gave Once Upon a Time is your highest rated with 9. The rest were 8. You've gone a 9 once, and then you've given 5 8s. Paul has done 2 10s, 2 9s, and 3 8s, and I've done 1 10, 3 9s, and 3 8s. So me and Paul are kind of level on our general praise of the year, and you are a lot harder to impress this year, it appears.
Yes.
You are, even the films you enjoy, you're giving like 8s.
Actually, I just remembered, I watched Black Klansman last year and I really enjoyed that film.
There you go.
That was the last good film I went, oh wow, that was
What
actually a
about
great
Three
piece of cinema.
Billboards? You liked Three Billboards very much.
Yeah, I did actually, yeah. I'm
You also
forgetting a
loved
lot of
Infinity
films.
War.
Mm.
Don't go, you gave it a 9 last year. You only gave 2 films a 9 last year.
I've now since changed my rating to an 8 on that film.
See,
as well.
knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, this is why you don't get me to review a film a day after it came out.
That's exactly when. And now, I've got to say, this is a better year because none of us have rated lower than a 6 for anything we've seen this year. We're either picking better films or just the standard of films is higher this year. To be fair, the films that we were rating low last time round were like the commercial shitty stuff like The Meg, Tomb Raider, Jurassic World, Bright, Venom, all of that like popcorn.
But there was literally
stuff.
nothing out that year.
Sorry?
There was literally nothing being released that we had any bother to see apart from
It's true. This is a better year for cinema for sure. What I'd like to say,
yes,
is that the reason that I think this one worked so much was because of its length. It gave you time to sort of like simmer and be immersed in the world and the characters, and it didn't. Again, it wasn't a typical horror film with like really slow moving parts leading up to a jump scare. It wasn't that. There was story, there was plot, there was narrative, there was dialogue.
All the build-up jump scares was quite quick.
Yeah, and there were jump scares, but not very many. And I didn't jump at any of the jump scares. And like I said, I didn't find it particularly scary. But Pennywise is always unnerving and unsettling and creepy, and he handled it very well. But the main thing was you knew how scary he was from the first one. Now it's about these guys have got to kill that fucking clown. And that's what you came to see them do in this one. You came to see them kill the fucking clown. And, you know, we lost a couple of players along the way. We lost two of the kids. And they lost 2 kids. They killed the clown. We lost 2 of the main adults who were kids in the first film. And we lost 2 young children in this. Both in very brutal and shocking ways with them big old teeth coming out.
And the gay guy.
And the gay character, which also is in the book. And that's getting a lot of criticism as well. But that's in the book. It's one of the first things in the book. So I think what I saw was on the Commode and Mayo podcast, Commode liked it, but Simon Mayo was saying that he didn't like the fact that they showed that scene at the beginning of the film and then it has no follow-up later. It doesn't put it into the context of a greater thing that happens later. But it
makes him aware the clown's back.
Yeah, and it's like the part of that evil that's in the town again.
He straight away knows that Pennywise is back.
Yeah.
And also the gay guy gives... what's his name? A leaflet. Bill Hader.
Does he?
Yeah. His like corpse walks by, gives him a leaflet, and then he says something like, he says something.
Oh, it wasn't it? Yeah, I remember that now.
I can't remember what he says, but
he goes like, "Get down to the festival" or something like that, didn't he?
Yeah, and he says like, "Hey, honey," or I can't remember what he says.
Oh, good looking, doesn't he? He calls him good looking.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I remember that bit now. It was just after the whatchamacallit scene, the wood chuck wood. How much wood can a wood chuck if a wood chuck wood? Anyway,
yes, Bill Hader was fantastic in it.
Mm-hmm.
All of them were. I think the 2 weak links from the adult cast for me were Jessica Chastain, and
she did grind on me a bit.
It was more that she just kind of did nothing.
She didn't really grow as a character. Everyone else seemed to develop.
She didn't.
And she kind of stayed the same.
Her
her child was much more interesting than she was.
Definitely, 100%.
And she was a better actress as well.
Yeah,
that's why I felt like she started to bore me by the end. It's like, okay, you're just annoying me now.
Yeah, she was just a little too bland. And also, Isaiah Mustafa, the guy who played Mike, he was a little just like 2D. Just we're getting all the pieces together, but we're not really going to develop my character.
No backstory, nothing.
No, but then like he stayed in the town, and I was very happy. I was also emotionally happy for him at the end when he packed up all his belongings in the car.
He knew he wasn't. Exactly. He already came to terms with everything that was happening and knew what was going on. Whereas the other ones weren't.
So it kind of worked. So
I feel like James McAvoy's character kind of just slipped through the cracks in this film. Like I don't even think about him.
Yeah, but I like that because it's like you have got an actor like James McAvoy, but he's also just as important as every other actor in those things, and he didn't take it over.
But the fact that he was like the main character in the last film.
Yeah, but his story was great in this, man. He's still beating himself up about it. He wanted to save that fucking kid, and then he had to watch a kid die before his eyes again. And then it was like, I'm going to fucking get this clown. He was the reason that they all suddenly had to go and do it. And then he had that whole scene in the water in the basement where he had to drown himself.
Oh, yeah.
Drown Georgie and then kill himself. I liked all that, man.
So, you know the fact that, like, you say, with you, Adam, Infinity War, that you'd rate it down now if you could. The next day, after watching it,
I think if I watched it again,
I like something about
going
it
up than it has of going down.
Yes, exactly.
But
I was like, I can't put it up. I'm not going to put it up because that's my initial reaction. It's a 6. I was disappointed.
I think it's a film of where you're aware of what the actual film is. You'd appreciate it more.
It was my disappointment that's put this down a bit.
Listen, children, you're more than welcome to watch it again and change your rating on Letterboxd, but the
Not on the
podcast will be for
podcast.
posterity.
Yes, of
Yes,
course, I understand
indeed.
that. And then you'll just shout at us and call us racist for it.
I really enjoyed it. What trailers played before your film?
Birds of Prey.
Oh, I didn't get that one.
Yeah.
Thank
It
God.
was very,
They knew
very
I was
short. Very short. You wouldn't get anything from it.
I wouldn't get anything from it if it was 2 fucking hours.
Doctor Sleep.
Yep, Doctor Sleep played.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how I feel about it, you know.
I haven't seen any
I've got a
trailers
feeling
for
it's
that
not
still.
going to be very good.
Yeah, it looks very generic.
It does. It looks like a standard Mike Flanagan Stephen King adaptation, which is good, but it's like a 7/8. And that's it.
Yeah.
I'm interested, but not massively. Can I just give a shout out to the best child actor, in my humble opinion, who is Jack Dylan Grazer, who played young Eddie and was also in Shazam recently. I think he's got big things ahead of him. I think he's very good. He's very charismatic, very
Yes.
watchable, and like, remember when we did Shazam, as much as I disliked it, I said the unique thing about it was the kids weren't annoying in it, and he isn't. He's very. I like him. I like that actor.
he is
Yes,
quite
yes,
good, isn't
yes. I know exactly what you're on about now.
I liked him. I liked him.
I had some boring trailers before my film. I did come in probably with 2 trailers to go, but I got Gemini.
Did you not see Doctor Sleep then?
No, I haven't seen any of the trailers for Doctor Sleep, and I don't really
Oh,
want
so
to.
you missed.
I got
Yeah,
trailer
what
for
would you have
Gemini.
done if it was on though? You wouldn't.
I
Have
would.
been able to
I
get away.
would. I don't care. I'm actively going to watch it.
What the fuck's Gemini?
It's a new Will Smith film. They showed another film in the middle,
God.
which I can't remember what it was, and then they showed another Will Smith film for Bad Boys.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, because you got the
They
updated
showed.
trailer.
You had really weird trailers.
Yeah, it was like completely
Oh yeah,
different
what? They
trailers.
updated today, did they?
The Bad Boys came out the other day.
But Doctor Sleep
It
was
might
a
have
new
come-
Doctor Sleep trailer yesterday as well. And they might have been shown at the beginning of the trailers. Oh no, they showed.
No, that
Yeah,
that new one, I'm sure, is the one that I saw
Yeah,
on
I think that
Saturday
it probably is, yeah.
because it was different to the one I'd seen before.
Yes,
yeah. I'm
it
not
was.
actively going to choose to watch the trailer for it, but if it comes on, it comes on. I've seen like 30 seconds of the Joker trailer, and then I turned it off. I was like, I'll wait for the film.
Oh yeah, the Joker trailer was the other one that played.
Oh, did it? The new one?
Oh no, I
Yeah.
have seen the Joker trailer because it played before Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
And what do you make
I
of the
feel
new
like the Joker is going to be a 10 this year.
I feel like
Wouldn't like to say it though. Who knows?
I feel like it's getting too much hype. This is the only thing now.
It's true, but listen, can we all agree to ignore the fucking hype train whenever we do these reviews?
Yeah, I know, but it's just
Ignore
annoying.
the hype train and review it purely on a
But it's
personal.
annoying if people are like, "This film's really good." You're gonna like love it, and you're seeing hype. It's like, no. Then you're going in with a high expectation still. Like the hype for it was a bit low. Like it was obviously everyone's
was
hyping it
low.
all year, and then when the initial I didn't read any reviews, but you're just getting a general gist from the film from people, and the hype kind of faded away, which is why I wasn't expecting much, and that's why I was quite pleasantly surprised. Whereas the film The Joker, it could be the other way around,
Yes.
and I don't want it to be the other way around.
If they continued making horror films in this vein of it for the next few years, I'd be quite happy with that.
I would
I
as
think
well.
horror is having a resurgence, and horror is starting to get
Do you
done well again.
It's like Stranger Things. It's kind of have started this new wave of.
Do you know exactly? I think Stranger Things it has to be credited with this for sure.
I mean, obviously the kids, kids sorting out horror is the same thing, but there was a lot of nods to it. I felt.
Yeah, there was.
If I didn't know better, I would have said the person who did Stranger Things did this as well.
So I want to say one more point,
It's better being
which is
I wish you
which
would,
is
and
something,
hurry up about it.
Which is something that you don't want me to talk about, which is CGI.
Oh man, come on,
Okay,
man.
so the reason why these type of films are so much better, regardless of the CGI that was used in this film, is the physical horror that people are going back to, which is so much better than all this CGI crap horror films.
Oh yeah, of course.
Where
yeah,
the
100%.
main goal is this CGI thing, and it's like, oh, it's horrible. As soon as you see it, it's like, film's done, don't really care anymore. But this physical, scary, actual human, disfigured human, brilliant. With a real
Yeah.
actor behind it, fantastic.
Agreed.
Forget this CGI.
Agreed. I
Especially
agree
those
entirely.
especially those fortune cookies.
All right, forget them. But the physical effects are always going to trump CGI effects, 100%. It's the one thing that cinema hasn't fucking learned. They've developed this incredible technology to do all this visual spectacle, but it looks nothing compared to the physical shit.
Because there's still
that shark in
people out
Jaws
there.
looks better than every shark since.
There's still people out there that go, "Oh, let's go see the new Fast and Furious film. Was it good?" No, but the CGI.
Yes,
was
I know,
awesome
you
in
lot.
it. No, it's not. It's not me. There's people that would think a film is good because stuff blows up and there's CGI in it.
And also,
And they're the people giving the most money to cinema. And that's why it gets done.
Just wait a goddamn fucking minute.
Ooh!
In Jurassic Park, which was all computers, all animatronics,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Now that was wonderful, and you loved it very much.
Yes.
So what excuse you have for giving Jurassic World Fallen
What
Kingdom an
excuse?
8, which was all terrible CGI?
But no, because it was part practical as well.
Rubbish!
I feel it's because it's still got the magic of Jurassic Park.
Yes.
If Jurassic Fallen Kingdom came out first, now you'd be like,
don't gang up
that
on
was
me,
a bit shit.
especially when you're both
But
wrong.
when it's
I
still
love
got
when you
this
gang up on
magic
me
back
and
to
you're
the
wrong,
screen.
I hate everyone.
Listen, I have
Stop
more.
being an
I have
old
more
man,
in-
Ben, and appreciate you can enjoy some bits that bring back magic.
I
There's
have
certain
more-
films that
What are you
bring-
talking about? I'm the one who enjoyed this shit. You're the one who's being grumpy.
No, you're
about
being
it.
grumpy about Jurassic Park and dinosaurs. Who doesn't like dinosaurs?
I
Everyone
love
like-
Jurassic Park.
every-
I hate Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah,
It's
fuck
all the
me.
same shit. Even Jeff Goldblum said, I'll turn up, but I don't want to be anywhere near the cast. I don't want to have to film with any fake CGI dinosaurs. I'm just going to sit in this chair. I'm going to speak for 30 seconds. I'm taking my check, and then I'm going to play some fucking jazz. Do it.
Sold himself out, didn't he?
And he did it well.
He collected a check, and listen, if that's what his involvement was going to be in that film, I'm glad
And then
that's
he
what
left
it
to
was.
go do Thor Ragnarok and involved in even more CGI.
I hate
He
you.
did
I hate you
perform for
both.
you, didn't he?
I'm going. I'm going.
But how will people know where to find you on the internet?
Should we wrap this podcast up? Are we done talking about it? Chapter
we're
2.
really waffling now.
I don't want to hear anything.
I thought you'd gone. Go.
I'm here, of course.
No,
let's
go.
finish.
You're
Let's
done
finish
with
this
you.
thing off then. You can get in touch with us at FilmBusters Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or you can email us at filmbusters@outlook.com. We also have our website www.filmbusterspod.
We almost had a website.
Yes, we also have our website www.filmbusterspod.co.uk, where we do some lovely reviews on there. There's not actually stuff that we do in the podcast, so you should go check it out.
It's all the stuff we don't talk about on the pod. It's lovely for us to write. We spend lots of time writing it, so fucking go and read it.
Yes, please.
Ooh. You've really got a snake in your boot today, haven't you?
I have no snake in my boots. I'm not Woody.
We also have our individual personal accounts. I'm at FilmBusters Paul.
I'm at FilmBusters Adam.
And I'm at FilmBusters Bennywise.
It's the same awful joke you made at the beginning of the podcast.
It worked just as well.
FilmBusters.